Hello everyone, my name is Shadow the Hedgehog. Go watch my new series, Who Would Win? Who Wins? I've come to refer you that Death Battle Fan Scripts Online is going to be cancelled. But this is not the main topic of this video. This is going to be Death Battle ideas that I like. I did do a part 1 and 2 of this video. But I didn't do a lot of ideas in there. I've seen plenty of ideas. Some I like, some I don't. I'll save that for my matchups I don't like video. Because there are plenty. This is just my opinion. You don't have to be raging. Saying, hey, you're stupid, blah, 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 shoot fight, blah, blah, blah. But let's start off with the first topic. You might be thinking, oh, this is the one with the least amount of matchups. But no, there are plenty of matchups here. And there are plenty to go off of. Some of them are fair, some of them are not, but I'm going to do the ones that are fair. But again, please do not be raging in the comments. This is the video game section. I'm not going to put a character that I don't know against a character. Mainly because of the fight's popularity. I'm not going to do Demi Fiends versus Spawn. I don't like that idea. But I really don't know Demi Fiends, so I can't say if I really like it. First up, we have a TF2 fight. It's Scout versus Jonesy, or Johnsy, I don't know. I'm just gonna call it, Scout versus Johnsy. Tracer just seems to be, the worst opponent for him. I think that it's a stump, because TF2 takes place in a more modern era, while Overwatch takes place in a more futuristic era. But Jonesy, just seems to be the better opponent. Both of them are expert marksmen with plenty of skins, and they have plenty of weapons. When it comes down to variety of weapons, I would give this to Jonesy. When it comes down to speed, I would give this to Scout. This is really even. If they do the pumpkin grenade gun, then I think Scout could dodge that. Heck, he might even survive it, because there was this one time where he got hit by missiles, like 3 missiles, then he survived. Measuring the missiles to him and measuring a normal bomb, this would be equal to nearly 13 tons of TNT. And he survived it like it was nothing. I would give this win to, Jonesy. He just seems to have the better variety of weapons and better speed overall. So I'm giving this win to Jonesy. Next up, we have Samus Aran versus Master Chief. Some of you might think, I prefer Doom Guy. But again, don't be raging in the comments saying, you're stupid. This matchup sucks. Okay. Go watch the top 10 facts you probably didn't know about Death Battle video. So, the very first episode of Death Battle was Samus Aran versus Boba Fett. One of those characters was from a series. But it's from a fighting series that inspired Death Battle. If that show wouldn't have existed, then we wouldn't have Death Battle at all. I'm not going to reveal what it is yet, but I'm going to say there's similarities. Both of them are alien hunters with a ton of guns. Okay, so Haloid is the main inspiration for Death Battle. And I think that one day they're gonna do this fight to celebrate or thank Haloid for existing and thanking them for their existence. Master Chief has a harder skull, so I think Master Chief would be harder to kill. So, I don't really have a lot of feats for Master Chief or Samus either. But her armor can survive lava around her. Lava is super hot. That means that her armor can take temperature to up to 50,000 degrees. And we have given this win to Master Chief. Next up, we have Liu Kang versus Jago. This matchup is crazy in popularity. Yes, I know that Liu Kang versus Ryu exists. Heck, it even became a DBX one day. I don't know why, but I think DBXs and Death Battle casts are meant to hold in fights. Fights that they like will happen. Fights that they don't like, I think will be done as a DBX, or as a joke battle. I don't really know their connections. I'm gonna say that both of them are fire ninjas. They're from fighting games. Yeah. Plus Master Chief, dang it. Both Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct are both bloody games. So they're very, very similar, and, well, they're gonna have fights against each other. The only Killer Instinct versus Mortal Kombat fight that we got, it was Sub-Zero versus Glacius, all the way back in Season 4. That was a decent fight, but not Sub-Zero's best. This would be the next logical battle to do. We haven't had a Killer Instinct v Mortal Kombat fight on Death Battle for 5 years. I would give this one to Liu Kang. Next up, we have Luigi versus Pac-Man. I know a lot of their connections. Both of them are ghost hunters from games that both have a variety of power-ups to hunt down those ghosts. And both of them are from the 80s. Yes, I said that Luigi's from the 80s. Luigi's first appearance was not in Super Mario Brothers 2-player. It was actually in Mario Bros. The arcade game. The one where you jump above Goombas and there's a power block. It's before Super Mario. Anyway, Luigi has a ton of feats. They've all been calculated on Death Battle, except for one. The Sun feat. The Sun is, has a heat of 10,000 degrees, or 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And Bowser survived it like it was nothing. And he went in lava more times than I can count. So, Luigi can scale to Bowser. So, I'm giving Luigi about solar system level strength. Pac-Man is pretty similar, but giving this win to Luigi. Next up, we have Engineer versus, oh no, Funky Kong. The Grand Bull said that there were no good Engineer matchups, so I went to see if there were, any ones that are actually good. I found this, and I was like, it's pretty good. They look similar, but I don't really know their connections. I think that, oh yeah, I know it now. Both of them are people which assist the main character of their franchise, and Both of them are in a gun game. Yes, Donkey Kong does have guns, but not really. It's coconut guns, so that's not a real bullet. Engineer has the better variety, but Funky Kong has better strength. Engineer has better speed, while Funky Kong has better durability. Engineer has better IQ, while and battle IQ. So I'm gonna give this win to Engineer. So yeah, that basically handles every single fight for video games. Next up, we're going to the other routes of Death Battle. Raphael versus Bakugo. This matchup just seems to have been a favorite of mine, even when I first found it. Both of them are jealous of the main protagonist, and they both were trained at a school of some kind to control their powers, and they both try to far surpass the person in strength. There's another fight for Bakugo. This is the dumbest fight that I've ever came up with. Bakugo versus Vegeta. Some of you might think that's weird, but funny. Because both of them, I don't know, I've given this one whatever I go. Next up, we have Spider-Man versus Ladybug. It's my favorite Marvel character going up against Ladybug. I wouldn't call Miraculous Ladybug an anime, but it just seems to have the aesthetic of an anime. I searched other ideas. Batman makes kind of sense. It has like 1 cent. I'm giving Misaka 0 cents. It sucks. The only similarities that they have is just swinging through the city, and that's it. There's nothing else to it. I've given this one to Spider-Man. Next up, we have Hellboy versus Scorpion. Mortal Kombat versus DC. Okay, so, you should know that Hellboy versus Nero exists, but I just think that it's an obvious win for Nero. And Hellboy just has one method of winning. But Scorpion is far more fair. An alternative fight I have for both is the alternative fight that I had for Scorpion. Why am I speaking like that? Is Dante, but I don't think that will happen. I will make a thumbnail for it in a future video, but that has to be like if Kratos versus Dante doesn't happen. The connections are both of them are demons from hell, which both kill demons of hell. And no, hell is not a bad word. I'm talking about the place, not the word. But I would give this win to Hellboy. Next up, we have Simon the Digger versus Kyle Rayner. This matchup got kind of annoying. Then I was like, I'm getting to like it. I'm getting to really like it. I really don't know their connections, but I'll try to tell them out anyway. Both of them are heroes which are inspired off of a normal earlier hero, Green Lantern, and I don't know. Then they both find a source to use that power. Some people say that Kyle wins, but I say Simon wins. Because you have so much animation potential. You can have 2 drills going at each other. Heck, you can have a Mecha Wolverine going up against the giant meat monster that Simon has. I really don't know who wins. I don't care who wins. Next up, we have IDW Sonic versus Rainbow Dash. Yes, normal Sonic is way too fast. But the only next logical battle is IDW Sonic. No, IDW Rainbow Dash. IDW Rainbow Dash. Yeah, but I really don't know their connections. My preferred fight is Buttercup versus Rainbow Dash. But, yeah. This is a comic book session, and I was not gonna waste IDW Rainbow Dash versus Sonic. I don't really know a lot of crap about IDW Rainbow Dash, but until I do, I'm gonna give this one to normal Sonic. But I really want Buttercup versus Rainbow Dash. It's the better matchup. Because you have these flying people. Like, my other matchup for Buttercup is Yang from Ruby. Some of you might think, what? There's one joke fight that I have for Yang, Luigi. I would do it as a joke fight session, but I'm not gonna do 2 characters in 2 sections, despite in the same video. But yeah, IDW Rainbow Dash just doesn't have the power to stack up to Sonic. With or without Super Sonic, he should take the win. Next up, we have Ant-Man versus Atom. Both of them are people which can change their molecular structures, and both are on superhero teams. Like, there's too many connections. But, yeah. I really, really want this fight. Like, you can have a tiny fight. Heck, you can have a fight where they fight with bacteria as swords. And they can even fight with buildings. Heck, even planets at one point. Or even giant toys. And you can have the death where one of them goes up one of each other's butt. Like, I don't really know. I don't really care who wins. Oh, I'll be right back to think about who wins. So I thought about it, and I think when it comes down to everything, Ant-Man should win. He seems to have a better armor overall. But he has armor! And Adam just has a suit. Armor, suit. Next up, we have Galactus versus Unicron. This battle was actually in my top 10 most wanted list. No, not the one with Rebecca Perham and Tim Tom on it. The one that is new. I really love that video. And this was like number 10, 9, probably 6. Like, this match was really grown on me. Huh? Never mind. But I really don't know their connections. Like, I don't want this to be a Sprite fight because I don't want it to end up like the Abomination. Well, not Abomination, but Disappointment, which was the Galactus versus Unicron Cartoon Fight Club episode. I want this to be a 3D episode because it just fits the characters. You have so much animation potential going for it. The banter could be where Unicron is holding a planet. Then Galactus says, "Hey, you're destroying my home." I would give this win to Unicron. Next up, we have Spawn versus Ghost Rider. Some of you might think, "Hey, Spawn versus Doomguy is way better." No offense, but Doomguy is the worst matchup for Slayer, in my opinion. It just seems to be super unfair. It's a guy who hunts demons against a guy who is a demon. But Ghost Rider and Spawn are far more fair. Now I'm just gonna let all the words out. This is way better than Spawn versus Slayer. Spawn versus Slayer sucks, and everyone knows that. Ghost Rider also has Sans, which is my favorite ult. Oh, I'm sorry that I said it that way. But, yeah, that's my favorite ult, because both of them are skeletons which judge the protagonist based on their sins, and both of them have, basically pyrokinesis, in my opinion, and both of them have, like, plasma and fire. But, yeah, I'd give this win to Ghost Rider. Next up, we have Blue Ranger versus Blue Beetle. Some of you might be thinking that this is just teenagers that turn into blue people. But there's more than that. Teenagers that, after finding an artifact, they turn into blue people after not being normal teenagers anymore. Oh, and both of them joined a team, the Justice League and the Power Rangers. One was assigned to them, while one was chosen. I've heard that this is sort of a stomp. I really don't quite know. Like, if they don't do the Megazord, then yeah, I heard that Blue Beetle has seen things bigger than the Megazord, or things that are similar to it before. Who would I give this win to? I would give this win to Blue Beetle. Please let the track be called Blue. Next up, we have Dr. Fate versus Nova. Some of you might think this is a stomp, but I don't know that yet. Sorry, I'm just thinking of the similarities. Both of them are normal people. After getting a helmet, they turn into supernatural people. Oh, and both of them are on a superhero team. Doctor Strange against Dr. Fate was okay, but not the best. Harry Potter for Dr. Fate or Sonic for Dr. Fate would make no sense. That leaves only one option left. Nova. Yes, Nova has Green Lantern, but Green Lantern has already been on Death Battle up against Ben 10. Not Green Lantern's best fight, well, it's his worst, but it was sure good. I would give this win. Actually, I don't know who I would give this win to. Next up, we have Frieza versus Sinestro. Frieza versus Sinestro is really, really cool. It's better than Sinestro versus Pennywise. Anyway, both of these people are the villains of the main character. Both of them are, after learning something from the main character, they use that. The Lantern Ring and the Super Saiyan form. If this were to become a reality, I wouldn't mind if Frieza would fight someone else. Mewtwo is a stomp in Frieza's favor. Megatron makes no sense. and it gave birth to one of the worst matchups ever, Goku versus Optimus Prime. So Frieza is just left with Sinestro and Ridley somehow. But anyway, I would give this win to Frieza. Mordecai and Rigby versus Finn and Jake. I kind of like this matchup, but according to the Cartoon Fight Club, Mordecai and Rigby win twice. But I don't think that's true. Finn and Jake should win. Like, they're better at teamwork. But I really don't know. I'll just tell the winner at the end of this particular battle. Both of them are cartoon duos, which have an imagination of some sort, which is able to fade into the real world, and they both go on wacky adventures. Yeah, that's all I know. People thought that this would be the cartoon one of Death Battle Season 9. But no, Super Friends Aquaman versus SpongeBob was. That battle sucks. All they have in common is being underneath the sea and being fighters, and they already established how one-sided it was. They literally said, Aquaman's funeral! The person who argued for Superman's Aquaman was going to be upset that SpongeBob won. Yeah. Anyway, SpongeBob's going to have a battle, and if you've been on this channel for a while, you should immediately know what that battle is going to be. It's not Chowder. I have a much better battle for him. No, it is not going to be anything else. I would give this win to Finn and Jake. Next up, we have an obvious one, Gumball versus SpongeBob. If you've seen my top 10 death battle videos, you would know that this is my most wanted. Yeah, I said if I find a better fight or if this happens, I will stop wanting it and immediately switch to a better or new most wanted, or to shift my second most wanted to my most wanted. Yeah, if you've seen that video, then that statement is now false. Until this happens, I'm still gonna want it. I'm gonna want it to my grave. I'm going to want it wherever I go. Both of them are cartoon characters, which are mascots. Oh, I would go to watch my 2 top 10 videos to get a better understanding on their connections. I didn't want to spoil that for you. Some people say that SpongeBob stomps. But that's not true when you add the Unifeats. I just did a Who Wins video yesterday, and I said that it was inspired off of the Raptors. Who would win and why? The logo and everything says it, and I would go check out that video to basically get an understanding on who I think wins. Next up, we have Scrooge McDuck versus Mr. Krabs. Shovel Knight was kind of a meh, while the shiny crab from Moana for Mr. Krabs sorry, one, a total stomp, and 2, literally makes no sense. The next logical fight would be them fighting each other. They're equal in strength, speed, durability, IQ. Like, I don't even know who wins. Scrooge has his cannons and stuff. Oh, I forgot to say that both of them were old-fashioned ones. Oh, and both of them are assessed after money. So, yeah, they're both money lovers who have, like, a sort of accent and will do anything to keep their money safe in a safe. Yeah. That's all there is to it. Yeah, I lied when I said I don't know who wins. I would give this one to Mr. Krabs. He can snip his neck off. And plus, he can regenerate his skin. And he can scale to SpongeBob, who is so overpowered. This is going to be a short section, so that's just a warning. There's not going to be a lot of fights here. First up, we have Yang versus Liane. Yang's fight against Tifa was very underrated, and plus, it just feels so outdated. Everywhere you look at this fight, it kind of feels like you're watching an old Ruby episode. You want to feel like you're watching the new and improved Ruby. What fight would better fit that than Yang versus Liane? Yang and Liane are both fire users which punch. Their main method is punching, and they both have yellow hair. It's the best battle for both. Yang could attack with her. I would like to see the cat form go up against Yang's rage. Again, as I said earlier in the Rainbow Dash versus Sonic one, Yang has another battle that came up for Yang was another battle that came up for Buttercup was Yang. But I realized that's kind of dumb, and the only similarity that they have is being angry dude, or being angry people on part of teams. But Yang versus Liane just fits the caliber of fire users and other stuff. Next up, we have Garnet versus Piccolo. You might be thinking, what about Martian Manhunter versus Piccolo? Or Garnet versus a JoJo character? Or Yang? Yang was in the last one, and plus, Garnet makes no sense for Yang. Next similarities that they are gauntlet-using characters on teams. Garnet versus Piccolo, however, is the best. Yes, I know that Piccolo is good for him finding someone else, but that's not going to stop me from talking about this. Both of them are aliens that were meant to destroy planets, but both were able to keep the planets safe. Both of them are the teachers of a kid, essentially. And both of them are like weird. Very weird. Garnet and Piccolo just seem to go better with each other than Martian Manhunter against Piccolo. I think the only reason people like the idea is how big of a stomp it is. And can we stop liking fights? 'Cause it's a stomp. Gumball versus SpongeBob, you might think of me. Gumball versus SpongeBob is a stomp. I gave Gumball his uni feats, so that doesn't count. Anyway, Garnet versus Piccolo. Very nice matchup, very nice potential. The banter would be so amazing if Garnet would be in a battle and she runs into Piccolo. Then Piccolo says, and Garnet squats the ball off and says, "Why do you have 3 eyeballs?" The Garnet says, "That's none of your business." The Piccolo says, you want to get smart, young lady?" The Garnet says, "Who are you calling young lady?" Then that starts the fight. I would give this win to both of them. Next up, we have Tatsumi versus Eren. I think this was in my 2023 video. I don't know. But Tatami and Eren just seem like each other in plenty of ways. My favorite battle for Tatami has to be the green guy from Kill La Kill. Same armor, same motive, but Tatami's my favorite alt. Tatami versus Roy, Stomp. Eren versus Guts, Stomp. Guts versus Clay versus Claire, non-stomp. Tatsumi versus Eren, non-stomp. So, yeah, I think the only reason why people like some fights is that they're total stomps. I like Tatsumi versus Eren because both of them are monster hunters who are a part of a team, and both have ladies who, I would say, introduce them to the team. Eren's case, the military, and Tatsumi's case, a killer force, I think. Who would I think win this fight? I think that Eren would take the big W. I do like Tatsumi a lot, but that just seems to be the forerunner. Next up, we have Killua versus Kaminari. Some of you might think, what about Killua versus Akame? Yes, I do see that eventually happening one day. It became a DBX a few years ago, so I think they might touch on that soon. But Killua versus Kaminari just seems to be better. Killua and Kaminari are both teenagers that are on teams. That's it, I think. And on my wheel video, I chose another Hunter x Hunter fight. Go check that video out to get a better understanding. Anyway, Kaminari and Killua are both teenagers who use lightning, and most of the main characters are green. Yeah! Eat your greens. I should really write scripts. I would give this win to Kaminari. This is the final section, and except an honorable mention section will be after this. Lord Hater versus Bowser. I really don't know their connections. I don't care if it's just one eensy fancy connection. I just like this fight over Eggman. One, it just fits into season 6 because season 6 was doing like awkward fights all the time, every day. But Lord Hater versus Bowser is the exact opposite. I actually watched a little bit of Wander Over Yonder, and I already found a very big feat for Lord Hater. Lord Hater can keep up with Wander and Yonder. Okay, so Wander and Yonder both kicked Lord Hater's ship to the moon. Then they went to the moon in less than a minute. Even if it did take them about 1 hour or like 2 minutes, that would still make them millions of times faster than light. But they made it in about 1 second, so that's trillions of times faster than light. So Lord Hater takes speed because he's able to keep up with both Wander and Yonder. Yeah, so I would give this win to Lord Hater. Next up, we have Kratos versus Dante, the God Killer versus the Devil Killer. Okay, so both of them are people which have to do with Sparta, and both fight technically the people of their kind. I don't know. Kratos' sins are all around him. It's his skin! I would like for them to use bearded Kratos because, the God of War games without a beard just were a little more violent. But the God of War games now are just so good in quality. And it's so good. I would like this to be a 3D fight. I don't want this to be in sprites. If it does end up being sprites, I want them to use the sprites that they got from the GBX. There's one other fight that there is for Kratos, but that's Thor, and Thor already fought Vegeta. And plus, Thor isn't never going to come back for another fight. Vegeta, his best opponent, is literally not a stomp. But, yeah. Kratos' other option is Spawn, but Spawn has a way better one now these days. No, it's not Doomguy. Doomguy, in my opinion, just seems to be the worst matchup for Spawn. Like, they have solid connections, both military marksmen with every weapon known to man, and both fought Satan and God. I'll give this win to Kratos. Next up, we have the Lloyd versus Green Ranger. Yeah, somehow this is 2 Ranger fights in one video. Yeah, both of them were in the matchups I like 2 video. So the Lloyd has another option, which I'm not gonna say in this video. Titans 50 the Skeleton, you know exactly what it is. But the Lloyd and Green Ranger, my preferred matchup for the Lloyd is definitely Luke Skywalker. 2 people on the side of good, but their father is on the bad side. Then when they get revealed that that's their father, they get crushed. Not literally, but the Lloyd has Green Ranger. Both of them are green people on teams. I played through the Ninjago game, and I watched the Ninjago movie, but not the full series. That sucked. That sucked a lot. Anyway. By looking at that and knowing a lot about the Power Rangers, I would definitely give this win to the Lloyd. He seems to have the better experience, speed, durability, while Green Ranger has IQ, battle IQ, weapons, and overall versatility. I don't care who wins, I don't care if the style would be sprites, 3D, you can do whatever you want. The banter isn't as amazing as Piccolo versus Garnet or Gumball versus SpongeBob, but anyway, it's my list. I get to choose my battles. Anyway, Green Ranger has another battle. Well, yes, I know the Megazord wasn't technically him, but it is still him. Next up, we have Zuko versus Cinder. I forgot to say I think the Lloyd wins. Next up, Zuko versus Cinder was introduced to me by Grand Bull in a video. Go watch his top 10 video. It really, I started to say, too late. Zuko versus Todoroki already happened. Then I was like, yeah, they have a lot in common. Both of them are fire leaders, which have fire powers, and both of them have scars on the left part of their face. Left part. Like, Zuko can... Roy... it's kind of a meh. But it's kind of a stomp, in my opinion. One, because Zuko can just throw fire. Roy literally has to snap. Which one is faster? Snapping or literally throwing fire? Yeah, if you said throwing fire, then you are correct. That's why I think Zuko versus Roy is a total stomp. Like I said, Roy versus Eren, stomp. Roy has no other options. Zuko has Cinder. Todoroki. Oh, fun fact. I figured out that My Hero Academia is basically Marvel. Deku is Miles. All Might is Hulk. The speeding guy is Quicksilver. So that leaves Todoroki with Human Torch. Anyway, if this fight were to happen someday, like 5 seasons from now, or 6 or 2 or 1, I would be so happy. Like, it's not my most wanted, but it definitely isn't. Next up we have Sarge versus Soldier. Sarge versus Soldier, this seems to be the best battle for both. I like this battle because it could end Red versus Blue in same universe fights. First fight of Red versus Blue, same universe. Red versus Blue, death battle. No, literally the red team versus the blue team from Red versus Blue. I just wanted to do Soldier versus Sarge because both of them are people with have plenty of guns, and they're the most American man in their franchise or show or game, whatever. And also, both of them hate Blue Team with a passion. Like, I mean, Soldier literally blows up Blue Team. So, yeah. Also, both of them were literally pulled into a war. Okay, armor, I would give this one to Sarge. Speed, I would give that one to Soldier. IQ, I would give that one to Soldier. If they do the memes, then Sarge. Yeah. Who would I give this one to? I would definitely give it to Soldier. He just seems to have the overall better experience and burning passion to kill Blue Team. If this fight does become a reality, I would be happy. Next up, we have Ben 10 versus Jaden Yuki. Ben 10's fight against Green Lantern was in the most awkward seasons ever. And plus, it did a very, very awkward fight for him. Green Lantern. Anyway, Jaden Yuki and Ben 10 are both people with a wristband who can summon monsters and aliens. Oh, come on. You really, really need to see monsters versus alien on Death Battle. That's literally never been a subject. Well, I have a little monsters versus aliens. Yes, the DreamWorks movie. Battle. Blobby versus Bob. I'll do that in another video in the future. Ben 10 and Jaden Yuki are the best matchups for each other. Like, really, this is fire when it comes to connections. Like, I really don't know. Like, I don't know who wins. I don't care who wins. Like, if this becomes a reality, then it immediately 10 out of 10. I would recommend this. Yeah. Some people did complain that normal Ben, like Ben in Ben 10 versus Green Lantern, was Kid Ben, so he was too young to die. So add the Ben 10 sprites to make him like that teenager. And plus, you can just get shaded Yuki sprites by Google. Or just make some sprites of your own. But I would give this win to Vision versus Red Tornado, Marvel versus DC, Captain America versus Master Chief, Halo versus Marvel, Daffy Duck versus Donald, Warner Brothers versus Disney, Cat versus Amuchimaru, Gravity Rush versus My Hero Academia, Supergirl versus She-Hulk, Marvel versus DC, Bill Cipher versus Alistair, Gravity Falls versus Hazbin Hotel, Paper Mario versus Archisonic, Mario versus IDW, Dexter versus Jimmy, Cartoon Network versus Nickelodeon, Shadow versus Vincent, Sonic versus Final Fantasy VII, Groove versus Megamind, Illumination versus DreamWorks, Jasper versus Raditz, Steven Universe versus Dragon Ball Z, Shere Khan versus Scar, Disney versus Disney. Anyway, that was my list. I hope you enjoyed it. And just special thanks to everyone that introduced me to these ideas through a video. Like, I watched a video and I was like, do I like that idea? Maybe. Then a couple months later, hey, I like that idea. Or a couple weeks later, hey, I like that idea. When I find a very bad battle, then I start to like it. I'm like, yeah. Example of that, Vision versus Martian Manhunter. Anyway, that is a wrap for my video. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please put it down in the comments below. Anyway, see you later, Death Bubblers!